Welcome back to the Skellefteå Open 2023. This is event number 5 of the Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour, as well as Euro Tour stop number 5. I'm Andrew Fish, delighted to be here in the Gatekeeper media booth along with Chandler Fry.
Hello, Fish. I love watching this course. Everything you think about Swedish disc golf is exemplified right here on this property. Trees, elevation, lots of mandos. Precision is paramount. Stay in the fairway, get your scramble game on, and get some birdies.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a great card, all Europeans here, which is exactly what I want to see. I want to show off some young talent. We've got 3 of our players. Nieminen, Nestori Tuhkanen, Miro Ryhanen, all tied at 6 down. And then Teemu jumping up. He's at 4 down to start. Chandler, what are we looking at on hole 1?
Hole 1, par 4, 219 meters. Stay in the fairway, travel a bit to the left with a right finish, and you'll start seeing the green right up there past a couple of trees. OB right, OB left. Just stay in the fairway, get a putt.
Yeah, great way to start. Jesse, forehand dominant player, but going to throw the backhand hyzer here. Swings it out wide, and the wind helps carry that back to the left. That sets him up in a pretty good spot to throw probably another backhand into the green.
Yeah, he has shown, especially in the previous round we watched him on, he has a good all-around skill set. Good forehand, good backhand. That's pretty good.
And Nestori Tuhkanen, improving on that a little bit. Here is young Miro Ryhanen.
One of my favorite players that I didn't know about until very recently to watch right now on tour. Very skillful.
I believe only 19 years old, just kind of jumped in and has been competing. And Teemu Talikainen, what do you know about him, Chandler?
Belgian Open champion of this year, A-tier. And also last year's junior Finnish champion. So the guy has got some game.
And you see it there. Everybody in really good position here. This first hole, pretty difficult to access. Not too difficult to par. It's kind of middle of the pack.
Yeah, the error that we're seeing is a lot of players are kind of getting stuck in those trees in like the circle 2 range from the basket. We've seen a couple putts go in, but it tends to be pretty tough to get out of there.
And I wonder if that's just a tactical, as we see Miro hitting first available. He's not even going to get to that left side. I wonder if the left side is kind of the choice of, I'm confident I can get something from there and get up and down without risking the out of bounds right side.
Yeah, it's somewhat of a classic Woods play, just to kind of aim for the trees, hope for a hit, and give yourself an opportunity.
Yeah.
And Miro with his 3rd shot after advancing 5 feet on his 2nd.
That's about 1.5 meters.
My apologies.
Little hyperbole, but makes a credible 3rd. And Teemu, decently done, and you see the fight all the way to the back edge of that bullseye.
He's going to like that. And Miro, tough-looking putt from circle 2.
And this is, as you noted, a pretty classic Swedish-type course, tight around this left short side of the green. We're going to see that in other places on the Skellefteå course also.
Good bid from Nestori. And Jesse trying to get through a tiny gap to the basket. Doesn't quite get there.
So certainly frustrating to feel like you threw really good tee shots and not get a whole lot to look at after that.
Yeah, par, from what I've seen the first 2 rounds on this course, pars are not that bad. Just make sure you avoid those bogeys and double bogeys. Those are what bite you.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of difficult to swallow. Pars can be annoying, but ultimately they don't move you backwards. As Teemu gonna move forwards with his birdie. Jump to the front of the box for hole 2. 102 meters, a par 3, the suggestion of a tunnel shot, amplified by a couple double mandos, forcing you between them. And then the fairway's going to break pretty far to the left. It's been difficult for players to get all the way left, even if you can make the distance.
Yeah, that double mando's been giving giving players some grief. We've seen quite a few misses, but that was perfect.
Yeah, splitting the middle. Jesse gonna go to the forehand, and this is kind of a get me over play. Like, just get through the gap.
Oh, big skip.
And whatever happens after that, he can live with.
Yep. Doesn't look too happy with it, but he's through the gap. For sure par at this point. And Nestori bringing his A game to the fashion show. He's got the power colors on, red and black. Looking to make a move today. Good coordination.
I want to say you commented on his kit in round 2 also.
He was a little off. He had some orange and red matching clothes, and so today he's bringing the game, the A game. Ooh, a little high from Miro. Perhaps some nerves being on the chase card in the final round of Skellefteå Open. I think he made the Mando, though.
And if you remember watching in round 2, Miro had taken a double bogey on hole 2 and then kind of gone to work on the rest of the course. So already a 2-stroke improvement on his kind of Mario Kart ghost from round 2.
Yeah, this is where that sidearm got him. He's definitely trying to get a little closer, but I think just giving himself an opportunity on this hole with that drive is enough. Good bid.
Yeah, with the back slope back there, you're kind of free to send this chain high. As Nestori gonna knock it in. You see a little bit of slop.
Yeah, some adverse course conditions there. And Teemu off to a hot start. Birdie. That's what you want to see out here. But this course is all about endurance. Can you keep that pace up?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot to be played for here. There's the Swedish Discgolf Pro Tour. There's Euro Tour points. Like, every position matters, Chandler.
And USDGC spots, correct? There are 2 spots available with quite a few people gunning for them.
Hole 3, we're going to play a par 4, just over 230 meters. Difficult to set yourself up in the correct spot. This backhand flex play is the most direct way that lines you up with the gap well. However, we've also seen Jesse with some success throwing these forehand hyzers or just kind of flat to finish.
Yeah, this hole's all about just choosing your gap and executing. And that was not executing. That was not what you want to see. He did not go right or left. He went right down the middle into the trees. He might have an awkward stance there to get up and down.
And for the field, just to contextualize that, this hole scoring 1.06 strokes over par. So even taking a bogey isn't losing that many strokes to the field, even though it might be to the contenders up there.
Wow. This course is hard.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Chandler, what kind of advice do you give to Jesse as he plays out the rest of this hole?
Breathe. That's an important thing in woods disc golf. Just breathe. You can get in some very stressful situations, and you can definitely let your mind wander. Tree hits are going to happen. Accept them. Take a deep breath, execute on the next shot, and just keep on plugging away.
Yeah. So far, Jesse has done all of that and more to land himself short of the pinch point with a chance to get up and down. Teemu with a pretty good backhand that he gets a fortunate bounce to the left, and Nestori attacking the green but overturned the shot. Going to be a weird pitch angle.
Yeah. He did not like the stability of that disc. You can tell from the second he released it. And this is looking pretty good. Just got to stable up.
Excellent angle control from Miro.
Beautiful shot. And Jesse just looking to get up and down.
Flat release with a flippy disc. Getting the left drift, but and a good bump. He's going to have a chance to save par from edge of circle 1.
We did see him doing that in the second round as well, where his sidearm up approaches were just not getting the angle that he would prefer them to have, and just kind of leaking off right or left into the trees. So without that lucky tree break, he would have been in the trees. But here is Nestori.
Looks like jump putt approach. Keep it on Anheuser and let it pan out. But this is going to come up right and short.
That's in his range. And Miro.
Excellent. One of just 5 birdies on the day. Gets himself back to even for the round.
Back on track.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, one thing he's shown is that mental tenacity, that fortitude just to bounce back after some unfortunate situations.
And that's a skill to learn. And it seems like this next generation of disc golfers, especially on the European stage where you've got several different tours and heavy competition every week, like you're having to learn that as a skill.
Yeah, it's amazing to see these younger players coming up. Many of them I've never even heard of, and they're just battling out there like a bunch of little Paul Macbeths.
Little extra time for Nestori, and converts. So overall, a very, very well played hole by our card. If Teemu can close this out from the bullseye, 1 down overall. Nicely done.
I think this golfing can improve our community in many ways. It brings people together.
That maybe some of these kids who feel a little bit lost could find something like disc golf, find friends, find people to come together and play the sport.
Encouraging people to work together, kids to know one another, love one another.
A way for these kids to have a really fun thing to do together.
I think that's what we need in the world, love one another and do life together.
Hole 4, 225 meters, an absolute beaut of a hole. Following the theme of wooded gap tunnel holes on the course, you'll be traveling right over some water and then hopefully finishing left into this beautiful manicured area to the green. We're going to see some layup shots and some bigger distance shots that are trying to get some more distance. That got lucky to get through the trees there.
Yeah, that appeared to me to be an attacking shot that became a layup. Do you feel like these players are going to change their process being on the chase card during the final day?
I think we're going to see a few more aggressive plays than we would have in the second or first rounds. But on a course like this, it's definitely risk-reward. You can take some risky shots, but if you're not ideally or just on perfect line, you might hit a tree and take that double or that single that can take you out of the running. But that wasn't great. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, so Yes is going to proceed to a drop zone. And this starting to fade out a little bit early as well. And Nestori also out of bounds.
Unfortunate filter there. And Miro with a lucky through the trees play. Puts on a good angle to the left down the fairway.
It's holding. All right. So he's played the hole a little bit backwards now with the more attacking second shot. Gets a circle 2 look out of it. Yese with the flex forehand from this drop zone.
Yeah, a course like this is all about generating opportunity. If you can get yourself in a position where you have a 60 or 50-foot putt, you might not be very close to the basket, but the fact that you have a chance for that birdie and you're pretty much guaranteed a par means a lot.
Right. If you can get 4 or 5 of those in a round, you're thinking, I might hit 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And the same is true of scrambling out of the woods like this. You don't need to be a hero. Just ensure that you get a par, as kicking left and right is tough in this new growth forest.
Oh, yeah. And a course that, if I were to compare it to a course in America, I'd probably bring up Northwood Black. Just as far as a course that you have to be precise, there's a lot of danger looming on almost every hole. And if you shoot around even, you're not feeling that bad.
For sure. The fairways are fair. And as noted, if you're kind of playing mental golf in your head, everybody's tied at 6 under right now for 2 holes and a little bit of change. You don't have to shoot incredibly in order to score in this tournament.
Just got to hit those gaps. Wow, powerful putt from Teemu. That was a good 75, 80 feet away.
At least. And I believe that's going to set him up for a drop-in bogey. And Nestori looking for...
answers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yesse for his 4.
A bit of a timid jumper. Looks like there's not a lot of wind to speak of. So I'd be giving this a run. Beautiful looking putt there. Let's go.
And let's remember Miro threw from the short side of the pond at the break point of the hole in order to set himself up for that circle 2 look. Nicely done. Back-to-back birdies on 2 of the hardest holes on the course.
Hopefully we'll be seeing him stateside next year, battling with the big guns. Not that they're not big guns, but I'm talking about the Wysockies, the Macbeths, the Calvins.
And this chase card with some media coverage and some of those vaunted Americans in play on the lead card is a great opportunity to learn what that pressure situation is like. Hole 5, 104 meters. This one pretty straightforward. Play a backhand mid-range down the right side and let it fade. And we've also seen some counterclockwise spin, forehands and lefties, taking the left side and trying to run their disc away from the out of bounds.
Yeah, real fear on this hole is on the green. Left at the green, there's a huge chance of rollaway potential or a skip down the hill that can leave you with a pretty scary looking putt. Hopefully these players do not find that today. That was a decent looking safe shot to the right.
Yeah, don't need an out of bounds stroke compounding what you've done. And Chandler, in no way do I mean to say that Swedish disc golf isn't challenging. It's just most of the attention for years has been on the American side. Mm-hmm. And frankly, it's great that Gatekeeper gets to cover the Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour and see what else is out there.
Agreed.
Awesome courses, awesome comp.
I'm loving all the fairway shots and all the mid-ranges we're seeing off the tee pad, something that we see on tour stateside, but not as much as I think we should. Mm-hmm. It just allows the players to shape their shots a little more, be more creative with their approaches to the game instead of just bombing every hole. You know?
Absolutely. Aggressive bid from Nestori and the same from Teemu. Unafraid of out of bounds looming behind. Yesse. Also low.
Yeah, he's not feeling it from circle 2 right now. He's been timid on all of his putts so far.
And Miro going to pick up a quick turkey.
Gobble, gobble.
After the early bogey on 1.
Yeah, he's off to a great start.
You kind of see the difference in how confident his swing could be from, let's say, 9 meters rather than 14 or 15. How do you talk yourself into those putts, Jim?
I will answer that question right after we talk about hole 6. There's an initial incline off the tee pad, which might force the thrower to throw nose up a little bit too high. Then it finishes in some trees they have to navigate through. Most likely just going to see some fairway drivers here. Hopefully with some more stability than that. Gets a good, decent kick out to the fairway. What was your question? I've already forgotten.
How do you talk yourself into the longer putts when you're staring at danger?
It's tough. Because at no point are you not looking at the danger when you're staring at the basket. You just got to rely on muscle memory. You got to rely on experience and just know that you've made that putt before. It's not anything new to you in your game. You just got to execute. But that's easy to say, tough to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody up there in kind of par land, yes, they might be able to take a generous poke.
It looks a bit too stable. He is in the woods. Wow.
And honorable bid by Teemu. You see he comes in with some angle so the disc isn't carrying past the basket.
A pretty effortless looking jump putt from Teemu.
Miro gonna sky out to about 4 or 5 meters. Relatively routine par cleanup, and
but his birdie streak has come to an end with that.
Yeah.
Good looking run from Nestori. Let's see if Yese can get his circle 2 stroke looking good here.
wow,
Yeah.
nicely done. Keeps his hips in line with the bucket.
That was borderline circle 3 right there.
Yeah,
that was a
much
big boy
much
putt.
longer than I anticipated,
Beautiful putt from Yese.
and
Wow.
nice little flat to finish.
I like his slow walk to the basket. I myself like to do that after long putts. I do not run.
This is a cardio-free zone.
Nice comebacker there. Yeah, after watching this course, there aren't many holes which I think of as gimmies, as ones that you have to get. Every single hole forces a good disc golf shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Even this, the 6th easiest, scoring a little bit over par. Hole 7, 179 meters, a fairway that initially breaks to the left. Likely to see Yese play that with a forehand turnover shot that pans out a little bit late. Backhand also an option, but you have to set yourself up looking down this tunnel. There's a mandatory that forces you to kind of play that entire fairway, and then hazard behind the basket.
Did he get the angle on it? No, he did not. On this hole, you just want that drive to be facing the gap so your upshot is as easy as possible. But it is hard to get that far off the tee pad. He wants this to turn up a little bit.
Yeah, needed additional flip to carry straighter. Might be able to manufacture something if he's gone far enough left without going out of bounds. This one, a seeing eye disc for a little bit and then boosting to the left for Teemu Talikainen.
I can't remember what Nestori was doing on this hole.
I remember what he did on his upshot. I think everybody needs to go watch the round 2
Oh,
coverage as he threw a big Sky Annie.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Spoilers. This looks a little too pushed on the right side. Fortunate kick. Oh.
The obvious frustration as he's got to throw a very overstable flexing forehand. And it looked to me like he may have overthrown the gap.
You can kind of see how a course like this can just grind you down. Nestori going double, single par on the last few holes. Not feeling good, and you have to make a mental decision there whether to keep attacking and feeling good or just get frustrated, close the mind. And it looks like Nestori is kind of going that route. Hopefully he can fix it up. But you see Miro, first hole bogey, pops right back up and gets a turkey. So a lot of golf is a lot about mindset, especially on a course like this.
Saw one good creative forehand roller and then that over-the-top panning backhand. We'll have to take a look at that.
This is a tough looking. Yep.
And tagged down by some branches is Jesse Nieminen on his 3rd.
Kind of a poke and hope there. He definitely had a gap, though, a little high.
The criticality of being in the landing zone.
Tests that OB long, stays in bounds. Should have a putt. Going for back-to-back big guy putts. Nope. Nice layup.
So, yes, they're going to have to settle for the bogey. Teemu, after the big forehand roller, now putting his third from an awkward stance.
Oh, that's kind of scary. If you run it from anywhere, really, you're risking that OB line. Yeah, you can kind of see Miro keeping that a little safe, a little too low, maybe subconsciously not trying to run it too hard.
Yeah, once again, the body-mind split and how much you want to put it up there.
Yeah, I'm sure Miro wanted that to go in, but he had forces working against him. Teemu. I'm impressed with this young player so far. He's got all the skills, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Carding the bogey there to drop him back to even.
All right, hole 8, 217 meters. Fairly wide fairway for a course like this with a couple trees in the middle. Push all the way down here, it tightens up a little bit, and it moves slightly right into this little gap that is quite hard to hit.
Yeah, basket tucked. It's not that difficult to set yourself up for maybe a 10 or 15 meter putt, but difficult to park the basket.
Yeah.
As only 5% of the field ended up carding the birdie, only 1% parked.
Oh, wow. 1%.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of people.
Nope.
Nestori putting that a little left. I don't think he's going to like that spot. It's a bit in the rough.
And Jesse again trying to play the flat release to drift and underturns, but does get some help.
That's a nice tree kick.
Yeah, it goes down as a fairway hit in the books. Teemu
Yeah.
always backhanding. Good
I like
hyzer
this
flip,
line.
pushing.
I think he wants a bit more distance than that, but as far as the fairway is concerned, he is on it. Yeah, that tree kick gave Jesse a chance. Oh.
Yeah, would have required a big flip up forehand that then got a flare. So he's now pinned on the right side. Teemu with the forehand. That cuts in a touch early, but we'll give him a birdie look. Nestori kind of having to throw through jail.
Oh, wow.
And now to the right side of the fairway.
That was a heck of a gap he just attempted right there.
Miro, probably 2 clicks up in stability, has a chance. That instead going to be looking down the gap, but from the left side.
Yeah, Nestori had a bad kick from the left side. Wow. Wow. There we go.
Those look like clips of 2 entirely different throws. So excellent scramble. This one pushing backside.
Also excellent.
Uh-huh. And an approach well done by Miro. Teemu, this is left side and gonna chain out.
That was for birdie, though.
Yes, it was, correct. I believe at this point everybody putting for their pars. Miro the first up and does so successfully.
Yeah, surprising. Nestori is the closest, having not been in the fairway once.
It's a nice surprise to come around the corner and find your disc in the bullseye like that, though, right?
I don't have to putt. Yeah, that's always a great feeling.
And we're going to close out the front 9 with another doozy, 245 meters, a par 4, the 5th most difficult on the day. This fairway is just going to kind of continue turning to the left. I expect to see 3 backhand drives, maybe a forehand from Jesse, and then it's anything you can do to hold the disc straight through another series of gaps approaching the green.
We shall see on that one. It looked pretty decent to me.
Nestori, he's going to have to get something going in his round. 3 up thus far. And I like the shape of this. Little bit of flip up, pushing straight, and
Good
then
power.
Has the stability to finish.
It's pretty good. Judging by that shot, I believe Miro might be a little short. It didn't make the corner, but we'll see. Here comes Jesse with that sidearm of his, something nice and flippy.
And gonna sky out to the right. As we learned in round 2, that kind of gives him an okay angle, but he is well back on the fairway.
Yeah. Not what he was looking for.
Teemu, kind of the low to high reach back and pull through. Nicely done.
Yeah. Yeah, this hole requires 2 fairly precise disc golf shots to get the birdie. The second shot, slightly harder than the first, trying to get through that gap.
You can get yourself maybe 120, 130 meters off the tee, but that still leaves almost a full pull in. And
Miro slightly pinched. Will that come in before the trees?
yes and no.
He has an opportunity. He has a putt.
Attempted turnover shot. This is starting to fade out to the left for Teemu, and a good boost in to about 7 meters.
Slightly closer than he would have been without the tree. Has a good line to it.
Yeah, I really like that. Just holding over. I think it was a mid-range.
The farthest is Jesse.
He's had plenty of looks at this range. This one also fading out to the left.
Yeah, those circle 2 misses can stack up on you. He's already had about 4 this round in the front 9.
And Miro knew that one was left. Kind of starting to see the body language for all of the players verge into frustration.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just a little bit different feel coming down the stretch on Sunday than it is when you're on moving day.
A lot more stress, a lot more thoughts going through your mind. It's all about who can just shut those off and just get in the flow, play disc golf.
And Nestori, a good bounce back after a slow stretch. He's going to close out the front 9 at 4 under overall.
And Miro, 8 down, really showing us how it's done. Rough start, came battling back in the middle of the front 9, but he is now leading the chase card. Looking strong.
And we thank you so much for joining us for this Skellefteå Open. Gorgeous course, great competition. Chandler, I'm looking forward to seeing the back 9 final round coverage for our chase card.
As am I.
All right, thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, do all those YouTube things that help Gatekeeper Media stay on the road and bringing you excellent coverage of the Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour. For Chandler Fry, I'm Andrew Fish, and we'll see you out there.